Hey, you guys, it's your girl, Dr. T, with Sustain Your Biz LLC and Sustain Your Biz Academy. As you know, I come on periodically to tell you that you are a winner. What does winning mean? Welcoming in the new you, investing in yourself, and never ever giving up on you. So today we're going to try something new. I am on Clubhouse and I wanted to see about how people are, mixing and matching Clubhouse. So, hello, Chloe. Hello, Kristen, Henry. I'm Dr. TOD. I just want to let you know that we are live also on Facebook. And so today's topic is getting unstuck, unlocking, unleashing, and go. If you are an entrepreneur, sometimes we get stuck. Sometimes there are just some things that keep us from moving forward. And so today, what I encourage us to do is number one, let's get unstuck. Let us figure out ways for we can, help one another to maybe talk about some of the ways that they keep moving, not only in their life, but in their business. And I know for me, now this has come as a time where we are moving as the world opens back up from this COVID. People may seem like there is no rebound or there is no bounce back. And so today what I want to go over is how can we help you to get unstuck? How can we help you to unlock, unleash, and go? Because that is how you're going to keep moving forward. And so one of the things that I'm always, and I'm crucial and I think is very important, is your business statement or your business plan. And so today, as you're in the Sustain Your Biz room, I've created Sustain Your Biz because I believe that there are sustainable tools that we all have to share and to offer in our toolbox. And I think that it is important for us to be able to understand what those are. How can we lift each other up? As the scripture says, Proverbs 27:17, is iron sharpens iron. And I am famous for saying that I am not a woman on the island by myself. So it is important for me to help you win. And what does winning mean? Welcoming in the new you, investing in yourself, and never ever give up on you. So if you are looking forward to being unstuck and ready to unlock the keys to success and to unleash and go, ping some people in so that we can talk about that today. You are more than welcome to come up to the stage. The most important thing about this room is that we keep it clean, we keep it energized, and we keep it positive. So let's get started. Do you know what your mission is? And if you have a business or business partner, do they know what your mission is? And it is important for you to make sure that you know what your mission is. I've talked last week on basically understanding the difference between objective and goals versus your mission. And so if you go to the 5-day challenge, you will see what they are. And so that will help you to get unstuck. Why? That's a good question. Because your why is your mission. Your why is that statement that helps you to what? Move forward. That why helps you with your purpose. And so when people don't have the answer to their why, or not even putting out their why statement, it makes it very hard for them to move forward in their business and in their life. What's your purpose? And so I always say, figure that out, right? Dig deep inside to figure that out. And with your business, if you are not solving a problem, then that's a problem. So we want to make sure that you're getting unstuck in this time. Where are you getting stuck at? So raise your hand and let me know, where are you getting stuck at? We got something in the comment. Hey, Tina. We're also on, Tina, we're also on, We are also on Clubhouse. So this is going to be my first time to kind of talk about, getting unstuck and unleashed and all that good stuff. Hey, Leslie, welcome to the stage. Welcome to the stage.
Thank you.
Hey, Shirley Ann. If
Hello, hello.
Hello. So today we are talking about getting unstuck. And one of the things that I thought about today was because today we were talking about Motivation Monday, right? And we were talking about different things that help us to get motivated. And those things help us to get what? Unstuck. And so today I was just reminded of, joy also today. So, what is your why and what brings you joy? And so, as we go through here, these are some of the things I want you to start thinking about when it pertains to your business and in your life. So, the one thing that I can, constantly look at right now, I've got to find my notes here, is that what did you enjoy when you were a child? Like, so think about that. What did you enjoy when you were a child? It will help you to discover your why by thinking back to your childhood and the things that provide you with the most enjoyment, So you get really introspective here and reflect on the story of your life. And you will soon discover specific patterns that occur over and over again. And it is possible that you will identify activity and trends as well. So take a good look at these patterns because I think it's important. Sorry, you guys. Phone calls coming in. I think it's important for us to look at some of the clues that we can take from our childhood and into the purpose of our lives and in our business. So I'll give you an example. I was that child that always was helping people out. I was that child to go in if one of my friends, got hurt or had a boo-boo, right? You would say I was always that one to go home and get the Band-Aids and stuff like that. And my mother would yell at me because I was taking all the Band-Aids out of the house. And so I knew I wanted to be a doctor. I knew I wanted to heal. I wanted to help those. And so now that we're kind of coming out of this pandemic, now that things are opening back up, I'm kind of stuck because now I'm trying to look for staff. I'm trying to figure out hours now. I'm trying to do all these things. And now I feel kind of stuck. Although patients have been kind of understanding, I feel stuck. So what about you guys? Leslie?
So here's the first question I got for you. Are you on Facebook and Clubhouse at the same time?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How the heck you figured that out?
I'm figuring it out.
Okay, I just got a Facebook alert and I said, well, she ain't live, she in Clubhouse, but I noticed the words are the same. I'm saying, what? Okay, girl.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. So,
Okay.
Yeah, you're trying to be at two places at the same time. So you can't, if you're trying to go live, it's going to be kind of hard to do the Clubhouse. So listen, I'm trying to marry the two. Let's do it.
I see. I love it. So I like your example, and I believe, I look back at my childhood, I was the same person. I was, probably when I was maybe like 10 or 12 years old, I said I wanted to create a network where people would come to me for the information. I would know who they are. So when somebody else popped up, I would know who to refer them to. So I saw myself, which at that time, I don't think we had 911. But it wasn't 911. It was like a 411.
Yeah, 411.
More of an information. Because, even as a young child, I was always amidst older people's company. And my grandmother's very inspirational to me, and I used to just love when it came nighttime, like after 7 o'clock, and so she had a liquor store, and we would chat, and she would just tell me about old time things, and I just always found that that's so fascinating. And so for me, because I was always in older people company, and I was always hearing things, and my grandmother would tell me things. Information was a thing for me, but it was information to connect people. That was one thing that I wanted to do, was to be able to connect people to one another, because I believe at the core and the foundation of me is relationship. I treasure relationship, and I believe that relationship currency, and that's just priceless for me. You can't put a price on that. So it's that connector. It's not only just helping, but being able to connect you to the correct resource. So I'm Leslie with a Y, and I'm complete.
Shirley Ann, did you want to add on to anything?
Sure. I'm going to put a monkey wrench up in here.
Uh-oh. There you go. Put that monkey wrench in. Let's go.
I was the kid who stayed out of the way. Played with the pets and animals. Grew my worms and fed my worms. And played with the one mean rooster in the hen house. And I know, y'all, it's hard for you to imagine that Shirley was a little country girl, but I sure was.
Shirley was a country girl.
You were so right. You were so right with the worms and all that. Okay.
And I stayed up under my mother. I literally almost up under her houseboat until I was about 9 years old. And that's because I felt I needed to protect her and stay safe to her so that nothing harmed her. And so that is the reason I do the work I do today, though. But it wasn't that in the beginning I thought like I was continuing to do all the things. I stayed quiet. I laid low. Ain't nothing about me low today. But that's because I got to shout it out for the women that need protection, that need guidance, and need help.
And so with that, that's amazing, Shirley Ann, because I think sometimes I've said this before, and I've said this in other talks, that the social media, they're always putting that we're positive, that no one has any problems, that everybody lives their lives hunky-dory and nobody gets stuck. And so when I say let's get unstuck, I want us to understand that it is also okay if you are stuck. But let's figure out what's keeping you stuck. And let me go back. We don't want to keep you stuck, because we want you to keep moving forward, and not only in your life and also in your business. But then let's figure out what keys or solutions that we can use to get you unstuck. Right. So one of the things that I want to also ask you is, what do people ask you when they want your help? So sometimes we may have this idea of our own business and what we're trying to do, and what vision God has given us for our life and for our business. But are we really listening to the people that we are serving? Are we really listening to the people who are coming to us for help? Or are we trying to interject what we feel as though they need? And so that's why I created Sustain Your Biz, because I've had coaches and especially in the optometry world where, I don't do optometry like most, right? And so they were putting me in the box of what optometry is, and I wasn't fitting that. I was that circle being trying to put or forced into a square peg, and I wasn't that one. So are we listening to the people that we're trying to help? And so it's twofold. What do people ask you to do when they want your help?
It's funny you asked that question, and I know we have Lauren here on stage, but I was just talking to a client of mine probably less than an hour ago. She's a makeup artist, and so she's kind of stuck on some pricing. And so I said, okay, so what's your cost? What's your cost per item? Let's start with your cost per item. How much are you selling them for now? Well, based on the prices she's selling it for now, it's not moving. And she had an event maybe 6 weeks ago where she had discounted it, still profitable, and those moved. And I said, you're not listening. I said, so you can leave it there at $25 and ain't none of them move, but you bring it down to 16, 17, you got wiggle room between from $16 to $19 an item. And they were flying off the shelf. I said, you're not listening. So it's so interesting you just said that, because a lot of times we get married to certain things. We may be married to a price or married to whatever. But if you had an event and they were flying off the shelves at a certain price, why would you then put it up at a different price and now they're not moving?
So that's good.
Great question. So I'm listening. I'm complete.
Yeah, so that's good. So again, we're talking about things that are keeping us stuck. And Shirley Ann, before I go to you, I'll go to Lauren. We're talking about things that keeping us, stuck. And so sometimes we also need to look at our pricing, as one has said, Leslie has said on Clubhouse, is that we need to really start looking at our pricing as well. How are we being, number one, being competitive? Number two, how are we making sure that we are not overpricing our product and or underpricing our product? So I usually tell people like this: I don't carry Gucci, I don't carry Fendi, I carry designer style frames in my office, and as well as the life coaching. I think my prices are comparable to most, and I kind of use the medical model to price my hourly rate as well as project rates. And so, or done for you rates. So I kind of use the medical model for that as well. Lauren, welcome to the stage. Are you stuck at anything? And, did you want to answer the question as to, what did you like? What did you enjoy when you were younger? And what are people asking you to do? What are people asking you when they're asking you for help? Lauren.
Hi, everyone. Okay, so I'm Lauren and I'm from Liberia. So basically, I've been following the conversation for about a few minutes now. I came in very late. And for me, let me start with what you said, Dr. OD. And I totally resonate with you when it comes to trying to unlock who you are, especially relating it to who you were from childhood and how you've been able to use that to connect to your career. So, typical example was when I was coming up, I was always that person that was in defense of people. I don't need to know who you are. I just want to see that little tears coming from your eyes, or you having some form of emotions, and I should know that you are right and you are being tortured or misused. And I would literally want to stand in for you, defend you, speak to your parents, or do something to protect you because I felt you were vulnerable. So growing up, everyone thought that I was going to be a lawyer. And as I got older, I actually fell in love with IT. I fell in love with technology, probably because of the family that I grew up in. And at a certain point, I asked myself, how can I use something that I'm naturally passionate about and something that I've learned over the year? And that's how I decided to get into cyber law. That's a combination of technology and law as a whole. And to be honest, I found myself working in a GSM company for the past 2 years now. And for some reason, when you were speaking, Dr. Odi, when you talk about how we've gotten stuck. So it's a global business that's MTN. And for the past years, I have been stuck in a way that I'm used to cyber security, digital security, but I actually decided to work in data analytics, something that I'm not comfortable with. And when I was given the job, I told myself that I wanted to learn data analytics and queries. So I'm going to try my best as possible to be able to meet up with the guys. And one thing I was talking was kind of being disappointed by guys. In a tech space, you meet a lot of male faces, and the first thing they tell you is you are not capable or you are not up to date. You are just a girl, and you're not gonna make it.
Oh, most definitely.
That was something I was stuck with for. That's something I was stuck with for about 3 to 4 months. And I think I reached a certain point. My boss told the overhead boss that, "Do you think this girl can work in this position?" And when my overhead boss called me, he said something to me. He said sometimes people see things in you that you don't see in yourself, and I saw something in you that allowed me to put you in this position. You can't keep yourself stuck forever. You have to unleash whatever talent that you have in you, whatever passion that you have in you. You can build this as your passion and be able to help yourself grow in your career.
You're breaking up,
Especially for
okay.
countries like Liberia, where we have limited resources and economic growth for you to be able to grow, to certain limits. So yes, I have been able to try as much as possible. And honestly, right now, I sit among the guys as the only female, and I can get it. I'm like, okay, I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there. I'm improving. I can't be stuck at this point. I get into data science courses and other innovative centers for me to be able to build myself. And for the past time, I think the only thing I've been stuck with for about few weeks now is communication. I work in a global school that you can't just say anything to anybody's face. Even if they are messing up, you have to be moderate about it. But again, there are other people that would literally come and say, "Hey, you didn't do anything. What you did was a total mess," and it won't seem like they went against the rules. But when you say as a lower staff, it seems like you said something bad. So that is something I've been stuck in, trying to control my emotions on how to deal with process issues. And how I was able to deal with it last week was I kind of communicated with my overhead boss and told him that I didn't feel comfortable with the working environment. And he said something to me that I've learned from for 1 week now. He said, create your environment that makes you comfortable to be innovative and creative. You work in the sector that demands you to think every second and come up with a lot of solutions. You cannot work in a toxic environment. And you define your environment, and the only way you can be able to define your environment is let anybody in. Create a space that is safe for you and make sure that you allow who you want to be in it. For happier, since I started working with this business for the past 2 years and the past 1 week, I decided to respond to what I want to respond to. I took a lot of thick skin and I let things that are not supposed to rule me, not rule me. And I learned from my mistakes as well. And that's something that I've done over the years. I've made a lot of mistakes and I've been able to learn from it as well. So this is my experience, and I hope someone were able to learn from it, and I'm learning from you guys as well. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And so there's a couple of things that I heard. Number one is, sometimes we can get stuck because of the job that we have. It may not allow us to grow. And so one of the things that I forgot who said it, but I think somebody said, instead of wanting a seat at the table, bring your own chair, right? Because sometimes you may have to do that. And so the other part of that is, or, sometimes you say you want to have a seat at the table, well, maybe you need to build your own table, right? And so I think that's what you kind of did. And then the other thing is just knowing your super strength, knowing who you are, whose you are, and what you're capable of, and not letting anybody define you based on your sexuality or your race, because we know women, we can do most jobs that men can do. And of course, like you said, the tech world is predominantly male. However, women are now moving into the tech world or the STEM world, which I am super happy to be noticing as a doctor, because even when I was in optometry school, the majority of the people that were in my class were men. And now, 23 years later, the majority of our classes for optometry school are women. So thank you for sharing your story, because I think that that's another way for us to understand how to get unstuck and how to unleash who we are and go for it and get it done. Shirley Ann, you have anything to say about that?
About getting unstuck. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Well, the biggest thing about getting unstuck for me was, I can only speak on my experience, and most of the clients that I help, is understanding that we are the reason we're stuck. It's not somebody stopping us. It's not some haters. It's us. It's our fear or our perception or us checking into that old memory bank of things that have happened in the past or what we've seen on TV or what we've heard that we've allowed to get into our head. And that is fear. It's just fear. And most of the time, I know people think it's fear of failure, but I can testify that a lot of the time it's fear of success. I'm Shirley, and I'm done speaking.
Fear of success. Wow. Yeah. I'm kind of with you on that. I think sometimes we don't believe that we can do it, right? We don't believe that we can be successful. And I often talk about, define your own success. Stop looking at other people. Stop looking at what they have. Define your journey. Define your own success. That is the only way that you are going to feel like you have accomplished anything. Because if we're constantly looking, to our left and to our right, we're going to constantly stay stuck, right? We're going to constantly be stuck. So thank you, Shirley Ann, for that. Thank you, Lauren. Welcome to the room, Chloe and Stephen. We are talking about how to get unstuck, how to unlock the keys to success and unleash them so that you can thrive and go. You are in the Sustain Your Biz to Win. Actually, I don't have it up here. I didn't do my club. I am in the club of Sustain Your Biz to Win club. You can see the icon down at the bottom there. You can also follow all of the women up here on the stage if you choose so. You can also come up to the stage as well. So as we continue, I have a couple more questions and then we will close out. And so I would say, you hit something too, Shirley Ann, of, afraid of success. And I would say that we are afraid of accomplishing our goals, afraid of, answering the question, why? And sometimes that why could be just the opposite of where our minds are going. Sometimes we may think that we need to be going left when God is telling us to go right, and going right might even be harder than it is to go left, right? We may be stretched a little bit more when we are trying to go the way that the vision is supposed to be taking us down. And so sometimes we want to take the easy route instead of going the hardest route. What do you have to say about that? And so actually, this is where it comes in, that sometimes we drift along, right? We want to drift into the easier path than actually staying on course to where we're supposed to be. Leslie, do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, let me add something. I love what Shirley Ann said, is that sometimes we think it's other people, because I know at one time in my life I was stuck in that place, and I looking back and reflecting now, I used all kinds of excuses, and it was just really me. So I used, my kids were growing up, and I got to pick them up to school and drop them off. There was so many different excuses that I would use for different things, and and sometimes we may want to move out of the space that we're in. But I'll be honest for myself, sometimes you don't know how to. You may not have the tools in order to move, because I know that for myself, that was a personal journey which I wanted. I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't have the tools. I didn't know how to. Like my car did not have. Something was wrong with the drive. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was just like stuck in park.
Yeah.
And I didn't know whether I didn't have any gas, whether I needed new tires, or the whole engine needed a fix. Like I couldn't move. So, sometimes we can be in those spaces. And that's why I think it's so important as women, because there's so many things that we wear so many hats. Whether you're stuck or not, but we wear so many hats, and that does not change, right?
No,
so all those hats, we're wearing them hats.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so sometimes we can get so stuck in those hats and then feel that we may be disappointed or being unloyal to one of those hats that we're wearing. And the hats are just burying us, and we just don't know how to move. So I know that was for myself personally. I'm Leslie, I'm complete.
So yeah, we encourage ourselves sometimes on here, right?
Yes, ma'am. My pastor say all the time, y'all can say amen or hallelujah all y'all want, because I'm preaching up here to myself.
That's right. And sometimes we need that, right? Getting unstuck is the last part of this is getting unstuck is having the right people around you. So again, you were saying, the knowing how to. Well, sometimes you may not know how to, but hey, call a sis up, call a friend up, and this is what I was saying when I got into this coaching business, right? It was like, I don't think I have the experience. And then my coach was like, how many times did you help or answer a colleague? I was like, ooh, for 23 years I have. How many times have I helped staff members and I've trained them, and then next thing you know, they're moving on to the next thing, right? You've done this. And so that is the same thing. The other piece is find resources for yourself, and you never know, that resource can, of course, we're on Clubhouse, we're on social media, and you also have to be sure that you're getting that right resources, but vet people out. Follow them, see what they're doing, see if what they're making sense. I always tell people, look up what I say, because I know I'm doing my homework. So look up, if you don't believe what I'm saying, look up what I'm telling you, so that's one of the things. Shirley Ann, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I'll elaborate a little bit on that fear of success. So that's what kept me stuck for a good little while, because the first time around, girl, hush your mouth, I did the thing, right?
Uh-huh.
And so then when it had to come to a halt, it was difficult to understand that it took me 18 years to make a mistake, because I strive so hard to not to make a mistake, not realizing that I was preventing myself from learning and growing. So we're always afraid of mistakes or it not being perfect. But had I allowed myself those mistakes every few years, as opposed to waiting 18 years, probably would have still been around. However, God doesn't give you more than you can handle, and everything has a reason. So it was time for me to end that. And so I went into, okay, I know I'm going to have to end this. Where do I go now? That next leap, like Dr. T, like you help people say, all right, you get ready to move careers, do something. What you got? So my thing was, well, I've been working with people. I've been working with difficult people. I've been making deals, but more importantly, I was lost most of the time when everybody thought on the outside, girl, you got it going on. They had no clue that every night I went home about to cry, say, I got through that, but I got to wake up tomorrow and do it again. And it's going to be somebody else coming at me. And every day I woke up with my dukes up, right? And people just see me smiling like, oh, her life is so perfect. Yeah. So with that being said, I got out of it, right? I got out of it with my hair, skin, and teeth. And now it was like, well, you too young to retire. You ain't got no money saved up. What you gonna do? So I have some skills. I know how to help people. You know what? I watched my mama die too young. I'm watching women die. I'm watching me be unhappy in a marriage. I'm watching me be nice. How many other women are being nice but sad inside? I'm watching young girls make decisions because they're pregnant. Been there. I'm watching young girls with skills and talents and abilities having people tell them, well, once you got a child, your life is over. It's not yours anymore. So I said, you know what? I can do better for them. I can help them, and I can help people like my mama who lost friends and was turned away a little bit from the church and had nowhere to go. Well, they got Shirley. And then I started to work, and I got my certification and training and everything else, and then it got serious. It got serious because people started asking for help. And I was like, well, I'm help a little bit. And then they was like, no, I need more help. And I was like, no, I got to be accountable. That means I'm going to get bigger, and then people are going to watch me. And I got to keep this up. I can't do a repeat performance again. So my fear was of a repeat performance. And I was comparing it to where I used to be and what I used to do. And I was handling materials and service then. Today, I'm handling the hearts and the spirits of people and the soul of people. So it's a different ball game. And I just got to keep it real and authentic, share the stories of the people before me. I am no professor. I have no degrees. What I have is a whole bunch of life experiences and beautiful people who've come before me. So I've taken myself out of that way. And then I meet beautiful people like Leslie and you who won't let me sit still and make me get up in the morning and be accountable and do the work that I do. I'm done speaking.
Yeah, so that brings me see, Shirley Ann, telling you we're eye to eye, because that brings me to the last question, because this also helps us to get unstuck. And so the question I have, what can you do to improve the lives of others? My God. And so when we talk about our businesses, and this is what I always say, when you are an entrepreneur, you're in a different category. You're in a different realm. You can do business the way that you want to do business. And I always say, make sure you're doing something to improve the lives of others, because there are not many feelings better than doing things that will provide more benefit to others than they will yourself. There has been a lot of research showing that people with true purpose and an attitude of gratitude usually end up making large contributions to the world far beyond themselves. And so when you are grateful for what you have in your life, you appreciate more of the role that others play in your life. So you develop a greater need to give back. And so there are many ways that you can do this, such as making donations or volunteering to help others in need. Believing that you can really make a difference in the world is a great thing to have in your toolbox as an entrepreneur, because it will provide you with a true sense of purpose and a real mission in your life. Let me explain something to you. And some of it doesn't require a whole bunch of money. Some of it doesn't require that you donate millions of dollars. It can be small, but just that alone can help help you in your business. Sometimes you have to go, and I'll tell you for an example, sometimes you may have to go and do a talk at a school or a PTA or community event and not worry about whether or not they're going to pay you for it or not. Because in the end, you'll get the reward. And then in that point, you may even get customers as you were having that conversation. So what are you doing to improving the lives of others is the question. Leslie? If you can speak.
That's a great question. And I love the ending part that you said, even if you're doing it for free. That's kind of a motto that I've lived by, I want to say, since my early 20s. And because I so believe in the law of reciprocity. I believe that I every day try to put out there or put out there what I want back. So I want love, I'm going to be loving. I want friendship, relationships, that's who I'm going to be. So for me, that's a conscious decision. And, I've had people come in my life, Leslie, why are you doing this and why are you doing that? Because that's just who I am. And what you put out there, you're going to get it back tenfold. Now that I have children, one of the mottos that I go by is I want my children to be able to reap some of the seeds or whatever that I put out there. So for me, I put out what I want back, because I can't expect to be. Relationship currency is important to me, right? So I can't expect to have relationship currency and not put it out there. That's that. You know what I'm saying? That does not work. So whatever I believe into my core, that's what I'm putting out there. And I think that's how I would answer that question.
Cool.
I'm complete.
Thank you, Leslie. I'll reset the room. Ashley, thank you for coming in. Please note that we are also on Facebook Live as well. And we're talking about Get Unstuck, unlock the keys to success so that you can unleash and go. And there are certain things in our lives that affect our business, and there are certain things in our business that affects our lives. And so one of the things that I'm really, really passionate about is making sure that we have a sustainable business plan, and we understand what that is. I will always say that your business plan is a living and breathing document. And so one of the things that you do with that is really defining the purpose of your business. And a lot of it also connects with your life. And actually, we talked about some of the things that we did when we were younger. And then we talked about, how can we help others? Are we listening to those that we're servicing? And then are we also giving back to the community or to the people that we serve? So Shirley Ann, you want to follow up on that last question about giving back?
Absolutely. So when you ask the question, what do you do to improve the lives of others? So, me, I play with a little fire. So I peel back the scab. I take the scab and I open the wound. You know why? Because a lot of times we think we're healed, and underneath there is some stuff festering. And sooner or later it's going to come out, and it comes out in fear, and we get stuck. So my modus operandi is to, through my workshops, start to open up those scabs, and let's put the right antiseptics on them. Let's put the right medication, and then we'll put the right bandage on it so it heals right. If it needs a Band-Aid, it may only need some understanding. It may only need a little antiseptic spray, right? We need to flush it out the right way. I'm talking to the doctor. You hear me?
Yes.
So that's what I do, because it's painful. But how painful is it to not live your dream? How painful is it to die with a dream inside of you? How painful is it to be constipated? Not stuck, but constipated. Because see, when you're stuck, you can wiggle to the left, wiggle to the right. When you're constipated, you're just right there. Fear has struck you, and you're just too scared to move. You have no faith or belief in yourself, because enough people have talked about other people. They haven't been specific to say you ain't, you can't. You just heard to talk about other people, and your own judgments of yourself have closed up them wounds and said, well, let me go on and punch in over here for blah, blah, blah. Let me go punch in over here. And by the way, let me get a second job. Meanwhile, all your gifts and talents are up under them scars, healed up, and you going to punch Mr. Man or Mrs. Man's clock, and going to live their dream and help them live their passion. And that's why your bosses are happy. And that's why you see happy business owners, because they got people who stuff their dreams away under their scars. So I'm going to rip it open.
Girl, I'm so scared of you.
I'm scared of you. We need to. Listen, I talk about Ante. You talk about taking off the scab. I always say take off the mask, because sometimes we're hiding underneath the mask of, like you said, the fear. Sometimes we're hiding underneath the mask, and we're not ready to face the things that we need to face. And I always ask the hard questions. And then part of those questions is the first question that I always ask in a session is, write a letter to your younger self. Just write that letter. And the reason why I write that letter to your younger self, because it then now gives you the tools to heal. It now gives you the tools to move forward and to unleash some of the things that you may not even thought have hindered your progress when you as you got older. So just like you said, Shirley Ann, there are some people that probably can birth a business, but they, were always told that they couldn't, or they were told that they were not smart enough, or they told they weren't organized, or they were messy, or whatever, right? And so no, you can't have a business. You can't have a business. Let me tell you, if you do it right, everybody can have a business, and actually you can. And if the CEOs of those major corporations started their business, remember where they started from. They started from an idea, they started from a vision, and they did it. What did Shirley Ann say? They did it without fear. They did it without fear. So they might have struggled. They might have fallen up flat on their face the first time. They might have had people that not want to give them any money. They may have gone through cycles upon cycles and years of trying to get it right. And eventually they did, but they didn't give up. They were determined to make sure that their business was right. And then even if you start out with a particular business name, you still have the same business model. You just change the name. People get taken over and back. I remember AT&T. AT&T was AT&T, then it was something else, and then AT&T now took over what's the cable company, the disc company, and now it's back to DirecTV, and now it's back to AT&T. Now AT&T is DirecTV is no longer it's no longer called DirecTV, it's called AT&T. This is what I'm talking about. These are different things. I just heard of the other day, yesterday, that there's colleges now that they're still colleges, but because of the wake up moment that they don't have to really have a building to teach, that they can actually merge with another larger school and still be called the same school, and still provide the same academic programs. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about getting unstuck, figuring it out, unlock the keys to success, and unleash and go. You can do it. You can make it. You can move forward. You just need to believe in yourself. You just need to believe in your purpose. You just need to believe in the vision that has been laid out to you. What's your passion? What are you passionate about? And take it and move it into a business. I am truly, truly focused on making sure that you have sustainable business tools. And I am creating a tribe of individuals that will be able, that I can now, I've extended my resources. I'm actually here talking with somebody from Liberia that I want to actually talk more to now. And just extending those things. I remember, don't quote me, I believe it is Proverbs 54, where we talk about the tent and the things that you need to expand your territory. And one of the things that I paid more attention to was not the tent itself, not the strings itself, but the spikes that hold it down. It's that small, which makes a huge difference, right? And even in optometry school, I said to myself, okay, well, the eyes are small organs. Did y'all know that the eye was an organ? Many people probably don't, but an eye is an organ. And so I was like, oh, that's going to be easy. Not. You see how God took me to the right and said, you thought it was going to be easy, but it ain't, right? Because I was like, oh, this small little thing, it does a lot. It holds a lot. It does a lot. A lot of things affected. And so you too can get unstuck, get unlocked, get unleashed, and go. Don't worry about the bigger people. Worry about you. Stay in your lane. Stop looking at other people, right? And make sure that you are answering those questions. What are you doing what did you do when you were younger? What made you happy then? Intertwine that into your business, into your life. How are you helping others, right? Intertwine that into your business. And then are you listening to the customers or your clients that you're helping? Because if you're not, then you need to restructure. You need to rebalance, and you need to what? Get unstuck. So this is your girl, Dr. T. I'm still going to be on Clubhouse, but this is your girl, Dr. TOD, on Facebook. Click up above. Go to logiceyecareinc.org. That is where our hub is, with everything that we do. I will see you guys on the other side. Look out for some amazing things that's going to come up next week. We're going to have a huge week full of stuff. Remember, I just told you about that. I'm reaching out. I'm branching out, meeting Leslie, Shirley-Ann, Lauren, and Sana, and others, that we are forming a coalition of girl power. Okay. And so we are really pushing forward the agenda of making sure that we touch one to grab 1,000. So this is a girl, Dr. TOD. I want you to win in every aspect of your life. What does winning mean? Welcoming in the new you, investing in yourself, and never, ever give up on you. Be blessed. I'll see you on the other side, Facebook.